I'm Gus Nightingale, naturalist and student of the outdoors. Over the years, I've had some pretty cool adventures. Even when I'm at home, I like to look for new places and creatures I've never seen before. One thing I always like to do in the summer is go fishing. Here in Rhode Island, I'm surrounded by water. And lurking in these waters are many popular game fish, like the striped bass, the taug, and bluefish. Fishing in Rhode Island is exciting and beautiful. The fine sandy beaches, mixed with the rocky shores, make up Rhode Island's scenic coastline. When you look underwater, the coastline continues. These giant granite boulders, left here by glaciers during the last ice age, are the perfect hunting grounds for both fish and man.
I can't think of a better way than to start a new adventure in my own backyard. So, let's fill our tackle boxes and rig some rods. We're going fishing on the next Gus Outdoors.
I think what he meant to say was Gus and Gus Outdoors.
Did you just photobomb my intro?
Yes, I did.
Nice.
It's early spring, and we're getting ready for our fishing season. Most fishing isn't complicated. In some cases, you only need a hook, line, and bait. But like the bluefish, some fish need a little action. So Talis and I are making our own plugs. These plugs will swim at the surface, right where the fish can see the action, and we can see the boils, hits, and jumps. It's a good feeling when you pull a fish over the rail that has your own custom plug in its mouth. Talis just learned how to fish last summer and is on a mission to catch her first fish this year. Bluefish will hit just about anything, so your plug choice doesn't have to be very specific or perfect. As you can tell, there's very little perfection that goes into making your own cruddy plug.
A cruddy plug mostly targets bluefish, but there's a good chance we'll catch stripers too. We're going down to the docks to see what the fishing boats have brought in.
It's nice to see what kind of fish are around.
Plus, it's fun to watch.
You never know what could be in the traps.
The Maria Mendonça goes out every day to pull the traps. Most days, they go out early and get back before lunch. These fish will end up in restaurants and fish markets around southern New England. Once the boat is back at the dock, all the fish get sorted into different bins and boxes. Bluefish are one of the more common of the many species that end up on the dock. Bonita and striped bass are caught daily in the summer, along with butterfish, bullet mackerel, and scup. You can see that there's a good variety of fish this time of the year. Seeing all these fish gets me excited to get my line in the water. My grandfather Bertie likes his projects, and one of them is getting his boat ready for fishing. There's hours of sanding and painting to keep her looking good. And a fair amount of engine work to make sure we get back to the dock. This rugged old boat has had 4 generations of fish catching aboard her. That's a lot of fish stories. Launch day, and all hands report for duty. Depending on who is in town, it can be a family event. There's a lot of tinkering that goes on to get the trailer ready for the boat. It's a custom trailer made to work with Bertie's vintage Ford tractor. You may ask, is it street legal? Probably not, but the harbor is just down the road, so it has not been a problem. Small towns are good like that. Down at the ramp, there is usually some jury rigging to get the boat in the water. But most of the time, it goes without a hitch. It will take a few days for the wooden hull to swell, so it is watertight enough to go out fishing. But you don't always need a boat to go fishing in Rhode Island. With over 400 miles of coastline, Rhode Island has plenty of places to go fishing. It's time to hit the beach. I decided to get to it early to see if any fish are patrolling the beach. Since it will be a few days for the boat to be ready, shore fishing is my best option for now. The sky is clear, the air is cool. Nice morning. Looks like the barn swallows are getting a feast of marsh bugs. Maybe there's a hungry fish out there ready to make my day. My most favorite time of the day is in the evening when the beach gets quiet. The wind calms and the sun hits everything just right. It's also known as dinner time. There's nothing better than ending a fun-filled summer day with a cookout on the beach. While Mom is walking the beach, we get the food out and the fire started so it's ready to cook when she gets back. We make this fire pit every year because the winter storms completely wreck it. The wood sometimes is a donation from friends that cook out with us, but much of it is from Bertie's Woods in Vermont. We cook out a lot in the summer with friends and family to beat the heat, but it's also another opportunity to go fishing. At this very spot, I caught my first striped bass on the first cast. You can imagine, I was pretty surprised. It didn't seem very fishy, but lurking in the shallows was a small schoolie, ready for a bite.
I'm still working on getting my cast from the beach out into deeper water, where the fish have a better chance of noticing my plug. But when enough is enough, I let the day go to the dogs. When Mom returns, she cooks up dinner on the grill. Then we hang out talking about the day until it's time to hit the sack.
This is a plug we made this year. And to prove we're not crazy kids fishing with broomsticks, take a look at this one from last summer. See these teeth marks? These plugs really do work. Color does play a big part in fishing. Yellow works really well. Or blue could be the go-to plug. It all depends on what the fish are eating, time of day, tide, or weather. So it's a good idea to have a variety of lures whenever you go fishing. Right here is a way to keep your quiver of plugs organized. A tackle box. As you can see, I have a lot of custom plugs mixed in with my store-bought plugs. Poppers, swimmers, jigs. Being prepared gives you the best chance of catching a fish. Today, I'm after striped bass. Striped bass are sleek and silvery fish, a fisherman's favorite from the boat or the beach. Stripers can weigh as much as 80 pounds, grow up to 40 inches, and live for 30 years. Chances are, I'm not going to catch a monster like that, but I have a good chance of catching a smaller schoolie. Stripers like the whitewater around the rocks, where small bait fish get caught up in the swirling water. Their powerful bodies allow them to dart in and gulp down any struggling fish. When they get really excited, they may even follow the wash up the side of the rock to snap up their prey. It's a perfect morning, but being so calm limits the whitewater. I'll try a couple more casts to see if I can wake somebody up. Not looking good. It's a good idea to slow down the retrieve once in a while to show the fish something different. Nothing. We've hit the spot pretty well. Time to move on to the next one. Luck was on my side a few days ago when I was out with Birdie. The fish were hitting every plug we threw at them. Each spot we fished had a mix of bass and blues. At times, a blue would hit one line, then a bass would be coming over the side on the next. The fish really had it in for the blue and yellow cruddies. We just couldn't miss.
Ooh, fish! Gotcha, Blue. Hopefully, we'll have better luck here. There's a big rock over there, just under the surface. Along the bottom, there's a line of rocks that runs almost all the way to the beach. It's a haven for a variety of creatures, most of them on the Striper's menu. Right now, we're off of Middletown, Rhode Island. Just over there, where you see the mansions, is Newport. There's a lot of history in this area, and a big part of it is fishing. Generations of families have come to this area to spend their summer vacation. Fishing is just one of many cool things you can do on Rhode Island. I think it's time for a plug change.
The plug change didn't work, so we decided to head to the beach for lunch. Funny thing happened though. On the way to the beach, we ran into some action. And look what I found. We had a little speed bump today. The boat was sinking, and it needed to be pulled out of the water. Being an old wooden boat, there was always water leaking in somewhere. But this leak was different. The boat was filling up with water faster than the bilge pump could remove it. We also had very heavy rains recently that made it worse. The boat was literally sinking. Unfortunately, this was going to put an early end to our fishing season. It may possibly be the end of the good turn after 60 years of loyal service. But let's not end it there. Let's give the Good Turn one last shout out and send her on her way. To all the fish landed, quahogs bagged, and lobsters caught, the Good Turn has given us a lifetime of memories that will never be forgotten.
Nice fish, Cal. Nice fish.
But let's not end it there. Let's give the Good Turn one last shout out and send her on her way. For all the fish landed, quahogs bagged, and lobsters caught. The Good Turn has given us a lifetime of memories that will never be forgotten.